it does.
What they do moving forward is meaningless.
No, it's not true.
This football team sucks, the Detroit Lions. I'm not going to let them raise my blood pressure today. I'm just not going to do it. They don't deserve my blood pressure to be raised today, so it's not going to happen. I'm not going to get pissed off about the Detroit Lions. They're the most miserable franchise in professional sports. They didn't do anything yesterday that we have not seen a million times before. They are almost close to winning, and they have been for decades.
In the words of my stepfather, Charles Plater, the Detroit Lions, another exciting loss.
Listen, that was a good game yesterday.
Yeah, it was.
That defense kicked ass yesterday.
They're all good games.
Be happy. Be happy that their defense, on the 2 weeks that they had off, they did something. Be happy that you saw Josh Pascal a little bit at the beginning of the game. Be happy that you saw Jeff Okudah kick ass yesterday. Be happy that you saw Aiden Hutchinson do good things yesterday. Be happy that your offensive line did a pretty good job against a great Dallas defense.
Enough with this offensive line, though, because when it matters,
I'm just telling you.
I know, but again, when it matters, when you're first and goal at the 1, you're getting blown off the ball.
Yeah, they rushed that play.
Yeah,
and I want to get into that play.
I'll
die on that hill getting into that play.
You know what you should remember about the play is the play before, because we've had this conversation about Penei. Micah Parsons won that game. We talked last week about Penei potentially getting a gold jacket, which Penei is on pace. Like he's had 2 good seasons so far. He's playing at a very consistent level. He doesn't allow many pressures off his side. But offensive linemen don't win you games. Micah Parsons, you can say, oh, well, he didn't get to the quarterback. Oh, he didn't do this. When they needed a play to turn the tide, he did. He ran by 5 individuals, blowing by them, catching the tight end, knocking him out, an inch short of the goal line, and the very next play, Jamal Williams fumbles. I understand that Jamal Williams is supposed to hold on to the ball, but there's no if Micah Parsons doesn't make that play. He's a damn good player, but I will die on that hill, Maz, that you were right last year about Micah Parsons versus Penei.
You know, one of the things, too, just big picture view at this team, at this season, I think the average fan would probably say, and really the average analyst as well, would probably say 6-7 wins this year, right, for the Detroit Lions. I just don't even see where 5 wins are going to come from. This thing is ugly, and I think yesterday's game highlighted 2 things for me, and it's really the worst case scenario for this football team. Yeah. You're going to have 3 of the top 36 picks in next year's NFL draft again. And instead of really focusing on any particular area of need, you're going to have to use 2 of those picks. The first pick's definitely going to have to be your quarterback. And probably that second round pick is going to have to be a running back. So where you want to focus on defense and you want to focus on getting some playmakers on the defensive side of the ball, you're going to have to use 2 of your top 3 picks to get a quarterback and get a running back. And I think those 2 things are really, really tough and highlighted yesterday because Jared Goff is clearly not the guy. I think best case scenario for this football team would be if Jared Goff was the guy. That is clearly not the case. He has to be replaced. And DeAndre Swift is clearly not the guy because he simply can't stay healthy. You could tell me how great DeAndre Swift is. You could tell me he's a top 6 running back in this league. But I'm sorry, DeAndre, if you cannot play in the football game, I have no use for you whatsoever. He's missed 50% of the games this season and 25% of the games for his career. I'm sorry you don't get to miss 1 of every 4 games. What Deuce Staley did on Hard Knocks, the one thing I think we actually did get some insight into is Deuce Staley challenging DeAndre Swift. This is a different team with DeAndre Swift in the game than when he's out of the game. And you know what? This sounds like it's something he just chose not to play through. It's something he chose to get fully healthy.
You don't know that.
That's the report. That's the report, is that he wasn't fully healthy yet. All I can do is go by what's reported, and what's reported was that DeAndre Swift is waiting another week until he is fully healthy. I got nothing for you on that, guys.
Yeah, I mean,
you got to get another running back.
Sounds like the NFL is turning into the NBA a little bit, kind of Kawhi Leonard kind of playing when he's fully ready to go, although he might be able to be healthy. Look, the fact of the matter is when DeAndre Swift was healthy, the team looked different. Jared Goff didn't have to necessarily shoulder all of the offensive load in terms of making plays, trying to get the ball down the field, converting on first down. He had DeAndre Swift to throw quick passes to in the screen game. DeAndre Swift running the ball as well, which made it easier to hit some of those passes. Now without DeAndre Swift, much different team. You're seeing the Jared Goff of early last year. You're seeing the Jared Goff that Sean McVay fell out of love with, and that's just the God's honest truth. Looking at the defense, man, you're right about that though. I mean, there was some bright spots. Aiden Hutchinson, 2 sacks, which means that he probably got a little bit more healthy over the bye week in those 2 weeks. Then you look at Josh Pascal came in there, he made some plays, he was there, looked a lot different with Aiden Hutchinson not handing the ground, but up in a 2-point stand. Shout out to Easy, Woodward's heavyweights for that. But it looks different. It looked okay. Jeff Okudah made some plays out there. So there are some bright spots. But with that being said, Ryan, I understand they do need a running back, and I was interested in Kenneth Walker at 2 this year.
Yeah, you were.
Second round this year. But the way that defense is, the way that defense is constructed, I think you got to adjust the defense in the second round, whether it's the linebacker, whether it's whether it's a guy in the middle. But if not, if Blake Corum is there in the second round, that could be something interesting.
Or Bijan Robinson or somebody like that.
Because running backs are going to fall to the second and third. So you'll be able to get yourself a nice running back in the third and the fourth. But they got to adjust defense once again in this draft. I mean, the Lions, frankly put this year, and this is why I always say I got to see it. I got to see it from the Lions. The Lions have found a way this year to lose any type of game. When you look back at how the Lions lose, they can lose close, they can lose blowouts, they can lose at the end of the game, they can lose at the end of the half, they can lose at the end of the third. They can have guys come back on them in the fourth quarter, went down 14 points. So the Detroit Lions have just proven that they can lose any type of game. But it did look different on defense. It did look a little bit better, and that is the bright spot out of this game. It did look better, but the Lions will always lying, and it just comes down to it. And they've been doing that now for 7 years. It's not a lazy take. It's just the truth. The Lions will always lie. No matter if Patricia's coaching, no matter if James Caldwell's coaching, or Jim Caldwell is coaching, the Lions just seem like they were always lying.
That play at the 1 yard line, they ran right to the line. It's like,
why'd they rush?
It's like they were trying to hide something. Oh, we better get this in before the replay. You should have taken your time, had your replay coach, who every team has, tell you, hey, let's take a look at this. Not only will it give you some time to chill, get the team ready, get the O-line ready, but maybe the referees, they way mismarked the ball. The ball should be at almost the goal line, the half-yard line, the quarter-yard line, and they put it at the 1 1/4 yard line. And I'm not the only one that saw it. I got Tony Romo at the game, Jim Nantz at the game, whoever their replay guy is at the game.
Gene Steratore,
who I love. They all said it. Yeah, they mismarked that ball. So at worst, we know it's not a touchdown, but you get the ball marked. You're not going to lose your timeout. And I get in an argument with Neil Rule on text and Chad Johnson on text.
Great place for it.
Why would you? And I'm not doing a show on text. You can't win on text. Yeah. But why wouldn't you try to challenge that instead of running up? They hiked that ball inside of 8 seconds.
You know why, man?
And then they ran into the freaking wall. He had no chance of scoring at that point. Take your freaking time.
You know what, Maz? I'll tell you why.
Yeah, hold your thought on that because I want to get to this. You're going to hear from Dan Campbell in a minute. Something that I didn't think yesterday was a lot on Dan Campbell. Something he said yesterday did not set well with me.
Okay.
We'll get to that. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 friggin' years. You see that black and yellow sign out in front of the house? It means one thing.
Stay out.
Stay out.
Stay out.
Guardian Alarm gives you peace of mind while you're out enjoying the sunshine. Just call 1-800-STAY-OUT today. And you can rest easy knowing you have 24/7 protection. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT. Do it today.
Go back to your country.
We got fish, baby. We got fish here, too. What a gem. Stay out. Woodward Sports.
Number with
the biggest rivalry in the state is almost here. That means one thing, the biggest tailgate party in the state. Join Woodward Sports for our tailgate takeover before the U of M versus State game on October 29th. Will Harbaugh and the boys pull out the win? Or is Tuck still coming? We will find out at the Big House. Michigan legend Braylon Edwards will be handing out food, prizes, and much more. So no matter what team you root for, come party with the network that does it best. The Woodward Sports Network. The tailgate takeover, powered by Custom Health Centers, Syntron, and Planet Fitness.
Woodward Sports, you see the name!
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey everybody, how about those all-new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy? Gotta get them. It's not the Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. It's
Big Jim.
The Burger Blue, the Bacon Blue, and the Chili Cheeseburger. Upgrade those fries, folks. Get the nacho fries, the chili cheese fries, and the baked potato fries. Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
WoodwardSports.com. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. We got Fletch as usual, but what a treat. JB is out today. I think he's on the road. We had a couple of remotes today. In his stead, the great Sam Fisher, a.k.a. Fish. How you doing, Fish?
Doing good. Had a good weekend. Lions lost, but it was expected. So, yeah, good weekend.
Good to see you, Fish.
Good to see you too,
My
man.
goodness.
Outside that Notre Dame hat, man, I missed you, man. Outside that Notre Dame hat.
We always love Fish. Hey, Break, just to respond to Maz, if you're just tuning in here at WoodwardSports.com, Maz, you had a big issue with not replaying the call down near the goal line because if nothing else, it buys you a little bit of time. They absolutely rushed that play where they call a Jamal Williams up the middle at the 1 1.25 yard line.
Should have been on the goal line or a half-yard line. Easily.
Right,
Easily.
Here's my thoughts on that. And I'm going to give Dan Campbell poop for this one. And we can talk about some other stuff, but not this one. Here's why. You want to get a team like the Dallas Cowboys, you want them off balance and off guard. You got a guy, Micah Parsons, who we know what he does. DeMarcus Lawrence is another guy. You got guys in that defense that can disturb you and wreck stuff. So you keep them off balance by going with a hurry up. Not to mention, didn't you tell me that Taylor Deck is a first-round draft pick and the 6th highest-paid left tackle in the league? Didn't you tell me that Frank Ragnow is the highest-paid center in the league, a part of this make-believe, imagine a great line that we have?
They have the highest-paid offense.
Exactly. Isn't a Penei Sewell a first-round draft pick and will be another high price point for the Detroit Lions in 3 years? An offensive line that you keep saying is that good, they should be able to get you a half a yard or 1 yard with a running back who's second or third in short yardage touchdowns inside the red zone. Inside the goal line. So if you tell me this offensive line is that good, all these first rounders, all this high power, they should be able to get 1 yard with Jamal Williams, who was crying on Hard Knocks because he said, that's not us.
Yeah, that's done.
That's not us. We're better than that. No, you're not. That is exactly who you guys are. I don't have an issue with this, Dan Campbell. You're trying to catch a team off guard, especially a defense with that front is that good. I don't mind it. You just can't fumble the freaking ball.
Here's something I do have an issue with Dan Campbell on. I want to play this clip for you. We'll react to it afterwards. Dan Campbell.
Thought our defense played much better today. Wasn't perfect, but that's I told those guys I feel like you can win when you play that type of defense. They set the tone for the game. They played hard. They were on point, man. We were physical on the perimeter. I thought our corners and safeties really showed up, and those big guys in the middle. Anyway, that was a step in the right direction. Offensively, we played the type of game we needed to play against this opponent, minus the turnovers, and that's what killed us. Turnovers and inopportune penalties.
And he goes on to say, you can't play for us if you turn the ball over like that. You can't play for us if you turn the ball over like that. And I understand that. That is a real thing. If you're a guy that continues to turn the ball over, you're just going to be on the sideline next to Dan
Jamal's
Campbell.
never fumbled before.
Yeah.
He's never lost a fumble. He fumbled twice in that game. He lost one, the important one. Yeah. And Jared Goff turned the ball over 4 times, 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles. But I will say, Dan Campbell's blown himself a couple of games too. Yeah. Dan Campbell single-handedly lost the Minnesota game, and Dan Campbell single-handedly lost the Seattle Seahawks game, in my opinion, with a couple of crap calls. Yeah. So if you're going to call out players for fumbling and trying to do too much, and I'm not going to sit here and have Jared Goff's back today. Jared Goff's terrible. Yeah. And Jared Goff needs to be replaced as quarterback of the Detroit Lions, and they're going to have to, unfortunately now, use their first round pick pick on a quarterback. But I don't think the head coach in particular should be calling individual players out.
But you know what?
I just don't.
No, I agree with you, but you know where this stems from. I talked about this. I think we were on location at Big Boy, and I said, well, what's going to happen is when they start losing more and more and more, you'll start to see the defense take one side, you'll see the offense take another side, you'll start to see finger pointing, all that friendship and stuff that you saw during Hard Knocks. It'll come down to people losing their jobs. Dan Campbell's one of them. Dan Campbell was like, shoot, I know everybody's coming from my head. I mean, look, you can't turn the ball over. Dan's pointing out the problem, and not necessarily he should do it that way. But he's like, man, I'm not going to be the only one on the chopping block. Just like he said in New Jack City. Hey, man, it's bigger than Nino Brown. So now he's pointing to Jared Goff. Now he's pointing to Jamal Williams. What I would say about the overall totality of that game as well, as we look at the defense and how they play against the Cowboys, it was a good showing by Detroit, a team that's been horrible on defense this year. So it was a really good showing. But when you really break that Dallas Cowboys offense down, they have not played good offense this season. Whether Cooper Rush was playing, whether Dak Prescott was playing, they haven't played good offense. They played good defense, and they've run the ball well, and they've won some close games. So when you look back at the defensive performance of that game, you realize, okay, it was a good performance. The name Cowboys make you think that it was a better of a defensive performance than it was. That Cowboys offense isn't good outside of being able to run the ball.
No doubt. And the Lions defense did what they had to do, right? Exactly. I mean, they did what they had to do. I just think I think you could make an argument that Dan Campbell blew the game, Maz, by not challenging that spot.
That's his one mistake that he made. But like Braylon said, and some of the guys on our Woodward chat, they're trying to catch the Cowboys off guard. They're trying to rush it. But to me, the ball was mismarked. And then people yell at you, well, it's only a half a yard. Well, to me, don't you win and lose games by a half a yard sometimes?
And you win and lose games by one play in many instances. And the Detroit Lions lost the game on that one play. I mean,
and underthrowing a couple of balls that were really bad, that were picked off.
Jared Goff was terrible yesterday.
2 underthrown balls, terribly underthrown balls. 2 of them.
But you're playing that game. Look, you're playing that game without DeAndre Swift, Amon-Ra St. Brown, who goes out in concussion protocol, and DJ Chark, and you still have a chance to win that game. You never know what's going to happen if Jamal Williams scores that touchdown, right? I mean, do the Lions hang on? Do they give up a late touchdown and lose the game? Probably. But nonetheless, you never know. I just know that they lost that game in that one play. And that's one in which you're watching it and you just know. I felt something bad was going to happen in my bones when they rushed that play. Well, I knew something bad was going to happen.
That's because it's the Detroit Lions. Let's be consistent and fair. It's the Detroit Lions. Something always happens. The Detroit Lions will find a way. That is how you live and breathe in the third quarter, fourth quarter as a Detroit Lions fan. Luckily, I'm not. I support them, but I'm not a fan. Thank God. I'd be just as miserable as everybody else on Monday. But it doesn't matter. They always let it happen. It's like they cannot close games. They cannot finish games. They don't know what it takes to win games. They don't know what it takes to be winners. They just don't. You got to close these games out. And the one game that they did win this year against the Washington Commanders, who are god-awful, they tried to give that game away. They let the Washington Commanders score 27 in the second half. They tried to give that game back. The Lions, it's something about the makeup of the Lions, whether it's Patricia, whether it's Campbell, whether it's Jim Caldwell, doesn't matter. Something about the Lions in the fourth quarter just does not take well.
But this is wash, rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
Week in, week out, year in, year out, coach in, coach out, GM in, GM out. Everything is the same. The people change. The results don't. How do you find a way to win the game, Dan Campbell?
That's what I'm charged with. And so it doesn't matter who we have or what we're doing or who we're playing. I mean, the bottom line is you got to find a way to win. And I really felt like we were on track to do that. And then, we made those couple of mistakes that killed us, the turnovers, and against an opponent this good, it's good luck. This is a good opponent. It's a talented roster and it's well coached. And so.
And it's the same argument every week. It's tiresome.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't care anymore. I really believe now, Braylon, and it's like, where do you go from here, right? I mean, we talked about this when we were at the Academy of Warren on August 26th.
Yep.
It was a Friday. And he said, what will happen if the Lions start 0-7, 1-7, something like that? Because you realize that there are real issues with this football team. There's real issues with this head coach. There's real issues with this quarterback. I mean, do you just, and even if you think it's a 2, 3, 4-year process, you have to play these games out. You can't just fast forward 4 years down the line and see, it's just miserable. It's miserable. I don't even know what to say about this crappy football team anymore. I was going to say a different team.
Yeah, it's tough. It's
just
tough.
A shitty football team, man.
It is, and it's tough to watch, man. It seeps in from coaching standpoint. It seeps in from player standpoint. It seeps in from consistency, consistently inconsistent, if you will. I don't know. I mean, are we waiting for DeAndre Swift? Are we waiting for DeAndre Swift to get back so we can get the offense back on track? Are we waiting to see what Jameson Williams is going to do so it helps out Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell? What's going on? As we're having these conversations, the Jets got another win. The Giants got another win. So they're finding ways because their skill set at the coaching position, man. It's going to get to an interesting point with Dan Campbell where I'm wondering, same question I asked last year. When he broke down crying, was that the Bengals game or the Philly game? I believe it was the Philly game. When he broke down crying, I asked you guys, was this position too overwhelming for him? Is he overwhelmed by this position as a head coach? And I continue to ask that question.
I'm going to say this. As a matter of fact, as much hell and heartache as they give us, as a football fan, and it's my favorite thing. I love it. I'm going to still watch them. I believe that they have a chance to beat the Dolphins next week. I know you're going to laugh at me right now.
No, I'm not going to laugh at you.
They're getting 3.5 points. I'm going to tell you this. Vegas put a number on their head, 6.5. I still think they're going to dance around 6. I still do. I know they've lost a couple of games they shouldn't have lost.
But what does it mean?
Now listen, but listen, they still have to play the season out, Ryan and Braylon. So I know you're going to get mad, Ryan.
I'm not going to get mad.
They're going to win 4 or 5 more games at the end of the year.
I'm dead inside.
And you're going to say, "Oh, what the hell are they doing that for? It's a waste." You still have to play the season. You still have to play to win, and they are good enough to beat a lot of teams still.
This is
and they're going to get better.
I'm not getting mad at you at all. I think they have the opportunity to get better. I think they're adding some key players back. Guys are getting back from injury. Some of these younger players, I wanted to see Kirby Joseph play. Well, Kirby Joseph made some plays in the game. I got a chance to see him, third rounder out of Illinois. But what you just said has been the same thing for 30 years. You said, I think they're going to be in the game. Man, they're in every game. They're in every game. My stepdad didn't just come up with that phrase, the Detroit Lions, another exciting loss. That has been the same Detroit football since the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, and now in the 2020s. They are going to be in every game, whether it was the Rams.
Not in the Patricia era. The Patricia era, they sucked.
Well, guess what?
And I saw no light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, guess what?
I see light still
through 23 games.
Maybe I'm dying and I see the light, but I see light.
Through 23 games, Matt Patricia still has 6 more wins than Dan Campbell. I'm just saying. Dan Campbell has to find 6 wins to equal what Matt Patricia has right now at this point.
He'll pass Matt Patricia.
Where do you go from here? What do you
win? You go on.
Okay, we'll talk about it. But first, a message from Custom Health Centers. Has summer left you feeling a little bit chubby? Yeah, me too. Custom Health Centers takes the willpower out of weight loss. Whether you need to lose 20 or 120 pounds, Custom Health Centers will help you do it quickly and safely. All you got to do, go check out their website, customhealthcenters.com, customhealthcenters.com, or give them a call. The number's on your screen right now, 844-789-THIN, 844-789-THIN.
Woodward Sports is giving you another chance to sit front row, this time at the Detroit versus Green Bay game. Think you have the best Dan Campbell impression?
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Can you say man with the best of them?
I got it. Here's what I need, man. I need you to trust me. I swear to God, I'm not a lunatic. I swear to you.
Can you say, let's go for it on 4th down?
Man, I got a plan, I swear to you. All I think about is you guys. That's all I think about, man.
Are you a master motivator?
That's all I think about is you guys.
Show us in a video. Record your best Dan Campbell impression and post the video on Twitter or Instagram using hashtag Woodward Front Row. We'll select the best 3 impersonations of Motor City Dan Campbell and send you and a guest front row. So knock the dust off the old sweatpants, light some kneecaps, and enter today. And as always, go Lions, man.
I just need you to trust me. That's all. Please.
I don't care if I got 1 toe, 2 butt cheeks, and a rock.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Buy, sell, or invest in a home right now, guess what? My man Michael Phillips, Keller Williams Dearborn, is the guy for you. 23 years he's been in this game, and he is #1 for a reason. Experience. Whether you're a player or fan, helping you buy, sell, or invest is his top priority. And this Thursday, we will be on location at Keller Williams, the 27th, with my man Michael Phillips, doing our show, Ermanni and Edwards with Mass. We'll be there doing trunk or treat, hang out, take pictures, autographs. Come hang out. Michael Phillips.
Yeah, look, I'm frustrated, but I'm not. I'm frustrated because we're losing. I'm frustrated because of, I'm frustrated from losing, just like I was last year, just like I was anytime I lost, just like I was at New Orleans when we lost a game. And, you don't like to lose games, and but I'm not down, and I'm not losing confidence. I'm not going to go hide in the corner. That's not what I'm about, because I know you change a couple of things, man. You take care of the football, you play your game plan the way you should, and all of a sudden you win, and so we got to keep this in the true perspective of the fact, hey, our defense is playing pretty good football right now, and we got to continue to do that. And if we do that, we can alleviate some pressure now in all 3 phases, or the other 2, and now we can start to, you can help your other units out a little bit. So that's why I'm encouraged. I hate losing, but I'm encouraged by that because I know we'll get better offensively, and it won't always be like today's game plan either.
Yeah, that's your boy Dan Campbell. He's talking about, we protect the football. Our defense is playing pretty good, and we'll get some things corrected. There will always be something. It'll always be something. The offense plays well, defense plays trash. The defense plays well. The offense doesn't play well. Oh, well, this guy's injured. That's why we lost. Oh, because this guy, Dan Campbell, this coach, he dropped the ball on this decision-making, in-game decision-making. Oh, well, this player. There always will be something with the Detroit Lions. They got the Dolphins coming up next. They got Tua back. Tua looks good again. Tyreek Hill is Tyreek Hill. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, arguably the best tandem in the NFL right now. It's always going to be something because you know what? The NFL is not waiting for the Detroit Lions to come at their own pace. The NFL is getting better and better and better. Teams are finding ways to win. I mean, look at the Seahawks. Teams are finding ways to win that you would not necessarily say, oh, these guys could get it done, or these guys should be 4-3 and should be at the top of the division. They are finding ways to get it done. Other teams are finding ways to get it done. Meanwhile, the Detroit Lions consistently find ways to not get it done. It will always be something. Next week, there'll be another excuse, and another excuse, and another excuse.
I can't argue with the history, okay? The history, it writes itself. They're a laughingstock of sports.
Even the present. You can't argue with the present right now, man.
But listen to me, man. When I watched, I told you, throw that Patriot game out. Be happy. They came out yesterday and fought their ass off. They looked good on the road. That ain't an easy place to play. I don't care how good or bad the Dallas offense is. Dak, of course, is rusty. They're not ready yet. He's not ready yet. Maybe he's not even a great quarterback. Who knows?
Right.
But they're better than the Lions. We know that. And they hung with them. And they could have beat them. Yes, I know. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. But I see them getting better. Throw the Patriot game out. Forget it. And look at their season. They're right there, man. They're not going to be a playoff team yet, but they are right there. They are competitive, and within the next 3 weeks, the national people will be talking about them again, saying, look, they righted the ship. I like what this team is doing. They got the Dolphins this week at home. They're going to beat them. Then they got a hapless Packers team in Lambeau, and they're going to beat them as well. I'm telling you.
I hope
it's happening.
I hope you're right. I think you're wrong. And I'll tell you, nothing matters with this football team from here on out because...
It does matter, Ryan. Why are you even playing the game then?
Because I'm telling you, until you get your quarterback, nothing matters.
We know that, but you know that coming in.
Well, I didn't. I didn't know that. I did not know that coming in.
He could be a game manager.
I did not know that coming in. I thought there was a little sliver of hope that Jared Goff could be the quarterback of this football team for the next 4 or 5 years.
If DeAndre Swift was in and not a wussy, and if Amon-Ra St. Brown didn't hurt his leg and then get his bell rung.
But what I'm saying is, do you believe
Matthew Stafford can't win with this team?
Let me ask you this. Don't get upset.
But don't say that it don't matter then.
Because here's where I'm getting with it. Just humor me for a minute.
Don't let the Lions make you guys fight, okay? No. You see how chill I am?
Yeah, I'm totally chill about this.
Don't let the Lions... Come on, calm down, big guy.
I'm totally chill about this.
I went through a Yankees loss. Come on.
Let me ask you a question. I want to explore this further. Do you believe Jared Goff is the long-term quarterback of the Detroit Lions? Then nothing else matters.
Okay. Then why even play? Why even suit up?
Well, because you're
forfeit.
You're contractually obligated to.
Play the game and enjoy it.
At 1-5, you no longer play pressure-packed games in the National Football League. You're just playing the game because it's on the schedule. You don't play for anything other than, well, it's Sunday and we have a game. You're not playing for a playoff spot. Your stomach isn't bubbling with excitement because you got a chance. You're in the hunt. You got a chance to fight for something. You're playing with a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of fear, a little bit of fun, excitement. That just that gut feeling.
How many teams in the NFL truly have a chance to win the Super Bowl every year?
It's not about that, Maz. It's about getting better.
They are getting better. Well, the record don't indicate it, but they're getting better.
Maz, if you look at you in professional sports, you are what your record says you are. And right now it says that the Detroit Lions are 1-5. By the way, That is the worst football team in the National Football League. They have the worst record, 32 out of 32. So don't come here and tell me they're getting better. Don't come here and tell me you see light at the end of the tunnel. This program sucks right now, and they ain't getting better.
Fine.
They're making the same mistakes they make each and every single week. They are finding the same ways to lose football games. Turnovers, bad calls, injuries. Everything sucks. And
I'll tell you what, next week, why don't you put Santa Claus up? Go up on your roof and make the kids really happy next week. Really decorate your house next week. Do me a favor. Don't watch the effing game anymore. Because I don't want to hear from you.
I'm not watching.
Good. Don't watch it.
I'm not watching.
Watch it. Don't watch it.
They don't deserve my time.
Good. Take a hike.
Maz, the thing I would tell you is this, and to your conversation that we're having, is what have the Detroit Lions shown you to give you belief that they're going to beat the Dolphins, and then the following week they're going to beat who they play the following week?
Green Bay.
Then they're going to beat the Dolphins.
I watched Green Bay yesterday. They suck.
Watch Green Bay get right.
And that's the team. That's the team I picked for the Super Bowl.
Right.
They suck.
They do suck, but the problem is the Lions.
And Miami don't show me crap. They don't show me crap.
The Lions suck. They did struggle a little bit. To his first game back, they did struggle a little bit in that game, getting it going. But it's just with the Detroit Lions, they consistently show you that they're going to consistently let you down. And I think it's one of those deals where you've just gotten. What is it, Stockholm Syndrome? It's like your captives, they're holding you hostage and you become their friends. It's like they're holding you hostage, and so much you've gotten become cool with them. You like them now. The Detroit Lions will let you down every week until they show you you can't.
They showed me yesterday.
You know what they showed you is they can do Detroit Lions stuff. They can play good defense, make you believe it in the fourth quarter. Then they throw 2 interceptions, then they fumble at the goal line. That looked just like the Seattle game. I mean, the Falcons game. The Seattle
I watched
game.
them beat the crap out of Dallas yesterday. You see some of those hits.
And they still won.
That's not. But I understand that. That's out of my control.
And they still lost.
They had 5 turnovers in the second half.
It's not
Nobody could win that way.
It's not out of your control to believe what you see. When people show you who they are, believe them. Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions are showing you who they are. 6 games into the season, after they went 3-13-1 and 0-11, by the way, here they are almost on the same track, but they have 1 win. The same track. They've had opportunities to win games. You're right. They do have some better players. Aiden Hutchinson has made 6 sacks. Pascal played. Kirby played decent. You saw Amon-Ra St. Brown take that jump before he got injured. DeAndre Swift. There are things that look good, but there are also things that look very similar to when my dad was playing, to after my dad was playing, to when I was playing, to not sit on this desk with you guys, and that is the Lions will find a way.
How many 1-5 teams are there, Ryan?
1.
0. 1. The Detroit Lions.
Okay, they're the best 1-5 team in football.
Oh, my God.
Okay?
You suck.
I'm just telling you. Don't bust my balls.
I'm not busting your balls.
I'm not doing this as like a joke and I'm like a fan or anything like that.
I understand.
I'm telling you what I actually watched yesterday impressed me.
Yeah, they don't get blown out by anybody other than New England. It was a bad game. They got blown out by New England. Aside from that, they've been in every game. They have played with every team. They can play with any team in the league, sans Buffalo, I think, and Kansas City. Buffalo and Kansas City will blow them out. Buffalo might put up 60 if they wanted to. If Buffalo wants to score 60 points on Thanksgiving, they'll score 60 points.
They probably can do that with a lot
If they
of
want to
teams.
score 50 points on Thanksgiving, they'll score 50. Aside from Buffalo and Kansas City, the Detroit Lions can play with any team in the National Football League, but I guarantee you they can't find a way to win.
That's fine.
And that's the problem. And until or unless
I'm fine with that.
They get their
because I know they're not winning the Super Bowl right now.
Well, they're not going to win ever then.
Get those draft picks, make them right, and then go from there. Get better players. You got to draft. I can't draft for you.
I understand, man.
Get Mel Kiper's book and follow that. I don't give a damn. Just draft better players.
And one of those players has to be the quarterback.
Of course.
And until you get your quarterback, I just don't think anything you're doing matters.
But you still have to play.
I know you've got to play, but you're not playing for anything. You're just playing because it's Sunday.
Listen, I've been on teams. Listen, and here's how the energy starts. This is how the energy starts on bad teams and teams that get progressively worse. You start off in training camp, or I take that back. You start off in mini camp, start off in OTAs, you feel good. You feel like you've added a couple pieces. You feel like you're a year newer into this team. You work hard, you bust your ass, you go over the offense, you learn the concepts. You feel good going through minicamp. You get to training camp. You have some hiccups, you have some stuff, some bumpy roads. You win a couple preseason games. You feel real good. You're like, all right, this is going to be the year. We're figuring things out. Then you lose game 1. But you know what? You come back to the drawing board and say, all right, we're going to get this. We're going to get this ship righted. Here comes game 2. You lose again. It's still okay. It's a couple mistakes that we're going to figure out. Coach put us in a bad spot here. Player fumble, gave up a big play, etc. Then you win one game. All right, see, I knew it was going to be that way. Then you lose again. Then you lose again. You know what starts to happen? Now, Ryan, Maz, when you're in games, as soon as the game starts, the first thing that happens bad, a fumble, a drop, a bad call, a play that doesn't get out of the way, your mental already stops thinking. You're like, you know what? Here we go again. And now that's where your sense of urgency is. You lose your sense of urgency. You go into week 7, you go into week 8, you go into week 9. Players are thinking they're out of the game by halfway through the first quarter, and they're just playing to get to the end of the season. That's more so what Ryan Ermanni means. It's not,
that's exactly right. Until you get your quarterback, I don't think the rebuild starts.
Exactly.
The rebuild does not start until you get your quarterback, in my opinion.
You got to play the rest of the season. You got to play all the games on 100%, but the energy and the effort lessens and lessens and lessens as you lose and lose and lose, especially if you as a player don't trust your head coach.
Let's go around the NFL. We'll do it next, but first a message from Swiss.
Swiss Insurance Group and their employees are heavily involved in the community. It is very rewarding, but it comes with great responsibility. If you sit at a local youth board, homeowners association, or a volunteer coach, directors and officers insurance is a must. Make sure the kids, parents, and volunteers are protected. Call Swiss Insurance today. My man Mark, Swiss Insurance Group. Let him protect you, your community, and the family.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Hey, it's Maz. It's front row time. Who wants to go see Detroit and Green Bay at Ford Field? There's got to be some of you guys out there that want to go see these games. How about seeing it in the front row? We have got 3 pair of tickets to give out, and you know how you do it? You got to enter to win a video. All you got to do is enter. Do a video of you or anyone else that's with your party. Do your best Dan Campbell impersonation.
Man.
You got to post it on Instagram or Twitter or both even. Use the hashtag Woodward Front Row.
Man.
Make sure you're following Woodward Sports. We're going to select 3 winners, like I told you. 2 tickets apiece to the best impersonator of Dan Campbell. Winner going to be announced on November 4th, so hurry up and enter today.
Man.
WoodwardSports.com, Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. We got Fish in the house subbing for JB today. And, of course, Fletch is here each and every day. I want to thank everybody in the WoodwardSports.com chat right now. You guys are on fire. We certainly appreciate making WoodwardSports.com part of your day.
They all want me to go get my head checked.
Look, it's hard being the optimist. I've been there before. I thought this team was going to win 10 games.
I wouldn't be an optimist unless I actually saw what I think I see.
And look, I don't want to fight with you on this because I understand where you're coming from. When you bang your head against a wall so many times, at some point, you just got to say, you know what? This league is close. I mean, if you look at the games yesterday, I mean,
we're going to go through them now.
Every game's a friggin' 1-score game. So what separates the teams that win from the teams that lose? Because most games in the National Football League are within 1 score. So, I mean, come on. It is what it is, man. I mean, they suck. Yeah, that's where I'm done.
That view didn't suck.
You want to go through the NFL scoreboard?
Yeah, go through
here?
the NFL scoreboard.
All right, let's start off with the 6-1 New York Giants.
Oh.
They hung on for dear life yesterday, but they got it done. Giants 23, Jacksonville 17. Saquon 135 yards total offense. Danny Dimes looking good. Brian Daboll doing some good things with that offense.
Yeah, you know, one thing that Brian Daboll, let's start on the defensive side. Once again, and talk about picking the right people to help you as you're starting to be a head coach, as you're starting a franchise, as you're starting to try to change things around. You got to put coordinators around you that you trust that can actually get the job done, that are proven. And that's Wink Martindale. They play so tremendous on that defensive side of the ball, especially in the fourth quarter. That's how you win games. They win games. They close out games. And you look at Danny Dimes, Brian Daboll is putting him in a good position to have success. Let the workhorse be Saquon Barkley, who's on the trading block early on this year. Now he's balling out 6 games in a row, over 100 yards from scrimmage. They're letting him be the catalyst, and then slowly but surely, hey, you know what? Daniel Jones can run a little bit. Let's do a little RPO action. Let's let him run a little bit. Catch him off guard with Saquon, throw the ball over their head a little bit. They're making the game easy for Daniel Jones.
The Giants could be doing more with less than any team in the National Football League. I mean, Saquon Barkley aside, Daniel Jones is...
The Lions got a better offense than them.
That's exactly right. And you can't name me a wide receiver. I mean, the average...
Just Slayton, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, the average NFL fan in the NFL that doesn't play fantasy sports probably couldn't name you a wide receiver outside of Slayton.
And before yesterday, I couldn't name you Slayton.
Exactly.
Yeah. You got Kadarius Toney,
who
not
doesn't
really
do
playing,
anything. First round pick, kind of a bust.
Yeah, kind of a bust.
Remember what I said before the season started last year? Somebody that didn't deserve their money, boy, was all right. Where's Kenny Galladay?
Kenny Galladay.
Yeah. Where's Kenny Galladay?
I guess what I'm trying to say in highlighting that, it just goes to show you, if you get the coach right,
thank you.
If you get the coach right, they could do more with less than anybody, and you don't need 3 or 4 drafts to get some semblance of winning done.
Daboll looks like the real deal, man.
He does.
Tennessee.
Did you see him smoking a cigar?
I did.
Greeting the fans?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I mean, come on, this guy.
Tennessee beat the Colts 19-10. Well, Derrick Henry, 128 yards. They have swept the Colts 4 straight. That's 2 series in a row. And last year and this year, they own the Colts.
I don't know why I picked the Colts against them. It's that time of year. We know he always typically starts off slow, with the exception of last year, but he got injured. But Derrick Henry, once you get in the middle of month of October, the end of October, when the leaves start to turn, when it starts to get a little cold outside, nobody plays harder than Derrick Henry. Look out for the Tennessee Titans.
Matt Ryan, by the way, will sit this week. Apparently, he's got a shoulder injury, so Sam Ehlinger will get the start next week for the Colts.
How about that, huh? How about that? Panthers upset the Bucks 21-3. Game could have been a little different. Mike Evans dropped a wide-open 70-yard touchdown in the first quarter of that game. At 21-3, the Bucks are under 500. Tom Brady under 500. This deep into the season, first time since 2002.
Wow.
It's ugly for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Their defense they're not putting their offense in good situations, and vice versa. Defense is giving up tons of 3rd and longs. You can't do that in the NFL. You can't give up 3rd and long consistently to the opposition in the NFL, and that's what their defense is doing. They're making some horrible plays in the red zone, and they're struggling. And then when you look at Tom Brady, look, he's trying to make things happen. But when you got guys like Mike Evans, who I don't know if I've ever seen Mike Evans drop a pass, and I'm not mad even though Tom Brady on my fantasy team. It just shows you, man. It just shows you once a team is struggling, and once all aspects of the team are struggling, everybody starts to press.
It's an epidemic.
Exactly. Mike Evans is wide open. He's thinking in his head, I got to make a big play so we can get on the board. I got to do something to pull us out of this rut. And what does he do? He drops a pass, which is uncharacteristic of him. That's because everybody is pressing. Because to be honest, they're not a good football team, Ryan and Monty. They're not.
Washington beat the Packers 23-21. Aaron Rodgers under 500 himself, and the Packers have lost 3 in a row. 3 in a row. Giants, Jets, and Commanders. If you saw that at the beginning of the year, and I said they're going to lose to those 3 teams, what would you say?
Ryan,
I told you. I mean, I did. I don't like the Packers this year, and I think Davante Adams is a huge loss. You can't continue to go out there and just kind of think that Aaron Rodgers is a god and he's going to make all these no-name wide receivers into Davante Adams 2.0. It just doesn't happen. And offensively, they got a lot. 0 for 6 on third down
They didn't
yesterday.
make a third down at all.
That's the first time since 1999 that the Packers have not converted a third down. This offense is in trouble. I said earlier this year, look, I don't get a lot of things right, but I do get a lot of things right too. If that makes any sense whatsoever, it kind of doesn't. But I said Green Bay was going to be a 7-win football team, and it looks like it's going down that track. And I didn't think Tampa Bay was going to be a good team either. If you had one team that you thought would get it right between Brady and the Bucs or Rodgers, and I think both are done.
Yeah.
I think both are done. But because the NFC is so bad, both are alive.
Yeah, both are alive because Tampa's number 1 in the division right now. As bad as they're playing, Tampa's still tied for first in their division, the NFC South. But thinking about Green Bay Packers, look at it, man. And I know people are like, oh, how can one person be that good? How can one person be that important? Talk about Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams is the best wide receiver in the NFL. Devontae Adams made things a lot easier because as you focus on him, now you got guys on the backside like Lazard, Valdez, Scantling, list goes on wide receivers or tight ends that are wide open. Guys can make plays. Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon out the backfield. It allows you to play more comfortable. Everybody came in, they still have this two-headed monster and running back. They're going to run the ball to set up the pass. They're not going to run the ball to set up the pass because they use the pass to set up the run. That's how they had success in the running game last year and the previous years to that. Losing Devontae Adams was a huge blow to the Green Bay Packers. Offensive line isn't very good. Bakhtiari is back, but you wouldn't notice they're not playing good. They got rid of Zadarius Smith on the other side of the ball. And they've been struggling. Outside of Rashawn Gary, was their only bright spot on defense.
Bengals beat the Falcons 35-17. They got up big in this game. Joe Burrow, 501 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Unbelievable.
Couple of the Jamar Chase. So they look good yesterday. Ravens over the Browns, 23-20. Gus Edwards from Rutgers, 2 touchdowns. For Baltimore, he took over for J.K. Dobbins. The Jets are 5-2. They beat the Broncos 16-9, but they lose Breece Hall for the year. ACL injury, partially sprained MCL as well, man. That sucks.
That sucks, man.
My Jets got the W, but they lost at the same time, losing Breece Hall. Breece Hall was having a nice, actually a very good.
Michael Carter's got to step up now.
Rookie year. He should be decent. The way they're running the ball, the way they're setting it up. But the other side of that is the Denver Broncos. If I'm the defense of the Denver Broncos, I would ask for a divorce from the offense.
I'm going to show you a little stat a little bit later.
Like the defense. So that's why early on in the season I picked the random. I threw a Hail Mary. I picked the Broncos to win a Super Bowl because I was thinking, like I said, Tom Brady goes to a new team 2 years ago, he wins. Matt Stafford goes to a new team and he wins. So I said, you know what? That defense is damn good for the Broncos, and they got some talent. That's why I picked them. That defense is great, and that offense is terrible.
It's got to be so hard to do what the Broncos are doing.
Though.
The Broncos have played 7 games. They've scored 9 points 3 times. And they scored 11 once. And they won the football game when they scored 11. It is
that was against Matt
incredible.
Ryan.
It's unbelievable.
That's
My best bet yesterday were the Raiders. No, and I'm telling you, watch out. They have the best.
You're right about that.
They got the best running back in football in Josh Jacobs. He is playing like a man possessed. They beat the Texans 38-20.
Does he have the best season, or is he the best runner?
Oh, I think he's playing out of his head.
I don't know anything about that, but you're right about the Raiders.
3 touchdowns for him. I look out for them. Kansas City all over the 49ers yesterday. That was a wacky game. 44-23. Mahomes over 400 yards and 4 touchdowns again.
What I will say about that is I called that. I said the Chiefs would beat the 49ers. I knew that would happen, but
I called that too.
Exactly.
Me too.
But with that being said, what you said about the 49ers being that second team in the NFC, I still think they are that second team. Maybe them and the Minnesota Vikings tied for second, or maybe the 49ers. But that game is not a representation of where the 49ers will be at the end of the season. They'll get Christian McCaffrey acclimated to the system. Jimmy G have a better game. They'll be better than that come January.
They're the clear favorites to me to make it to the Super Bowl in the NFC. To me, they are.
The Eagles.
Over the Eagles, absolutely.
They're just getting going.
Yeah.
They got to get going.
I'm fine with them getting too. I'm just thinking you can't. The Eagles are 6-0. You can't negate what they do from a both sides of the ball standpoint. Look,
I'm just kind of playing it out in my head in January. Like,
but they're going to be in Philly. They won't be in San Francisco.
I know, even nonetheless.
Philly's a tough place to play in January.
I get it. I could be wrong, but I just San Francisco.
That's because you ain't think Philly's going to be as good, so you double down on it.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, Seattle has got first place, by the way. San Francisco's not in first place. Keep making fun of the Seahawks, everyone. They're in first.
By the end of the season.
They win it 37-23 over the Chargers. Kenneth Walker III has got another 75-yard run. He had 2 touchdowns yesterday, 168 yards. Man, he's looking superb.
I was just happy to see that it wasn't against the Michigan Wolverines. My God, like he had a damn good game. I mean, from the time he's been in the game, he's been scoring touchdowns. He's been getting after it. It's great to see K9 balling. Great to see him in a spot that can appreciate. Hey, man, don't sleep on the Seahawks and what Geno Smith are doing.
And the Lions' opponent next week, Miami, they beat Pittsburgh 16-10. We'll talk about that one and get you a look at what we did, our picks from last week. There is a new number 1. We'll have it for you coming up. Plus, Michigan State Week. We'll talk about it next. But first, a message from SMA.
The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about substance abuse and also mental health. Their podcast is the S Word. And the S Word is for stigma because they are trying to destigmatize mental health, depression, anxiety. They happen to all of it. It is okay. It is okay to not be okay. But what Sean Jordan and SMA do, they do an amazing job of providing you with content and a conversation so that you can understand and have further understanding. Go to thesma.com or smasports.com. That is smasports.com.
The biggest rivalry in the state is almost here. That means one thing, the biggest tailgate party in the state. Join Woodward Sports for our tailgate takeover before the U of M versus State game on October 29th. Will Harbaugh and the boys pull out the win? Or is Tuck still coming? We will find out at the Big House. Michigan legend Braylon Edwards will be handing out food, prizes, and much more. So no matter what team you root for, come party with the network that does it best. The Woodward Sports Network. The tailgate takeover, powered by Custom Health Centers, Syntron, and Planet Fitness.
Woodward Sports, you see the name!
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
All right, Big Frog and Novi can win a free Woodward Sports t-shirt. That's right, all month long at the Big Frog and Novi. Just stop in, tell them we sent you, and they'll print you out a Woodward Sports t-shirt on the spot on their lovely printing presses in the Big Frog of Novi. So go to bigfrognovi.com today. Bigfrog.com/Novi today.
Where's the Ribbit?
Oh, Ribbit.
There we go. Good to see Sam Fisher, a.k.a. Fish, in the house today, filling in for the great JB, Jeremy Bryant. Fletch is here. Braylon, Maz, you guys here. Hour number 2 of the program. Thanks for making WoodwardSports.com part of your day. WoodwardSports.com. Get in that shop as well. Over 120 items for you to choose from.
I got 7 on the way.
Including this quarter zip
big work.
that I absolutely
good,
love. The quarter zip looks good. I have to tell you. Braylon, you look here. Let me move out of the way. Look at this quarter zip. Beautiful. Ooh, wee.
Look like
beautiful T-shirt for you as well.
Hey, listen. This will be the last time I wear green this week. I only wore it because it's Woodward Sports. I got to represent WoodwardSports.com. Go to the shop, click up. They got a ton of things that you can pick out from. Over 120 items, as Ermanni says every day. This will be the last day I wear green and white because you know it's coming.
We'll get to a little college football. Maz, you got something to say there on that?
I was going to say about we got the Hail shirt with the number 1.
Yes.
And we got Tell Me When He Gets Here.
That's right. It's
That's good for this week.
Let me know when he gets
Let's
here.
go.
We'll talk Michigan State coming up in just a couple of minutes. But I wanted to, Maz, go around and congratulate you.
Thank you.
For being back on top in our WoodwardSports.com picks.
I thought I was on
leaders. You're back in the positive. Braylon, good week. Maz, break it down for us.
We both went 6-1, Braylon and I this week. Ryan went 3-4, but we all had those last 2 games. The Chiefs, we all were on the Chiefs. We were all on the Steelers with the plus money. But a good week. Let's see. I've got how many wins this year? I have
30-17.
I'm 30-17. Ryan is 28-19, and Braylon's over 500, 24-23. He's on the way.
It's not how you start. It's how you finish.
It shouldn't be this easy. I mean,
we're doing pretty good.
Those are pretty damn good numbers. Even Braylon. I mean, if you play 49 football games, if you play 49 football games and you're 24-23-2,
that's a win.
That's a pretty damn good season.
Better than Adam could ever do.
Depending on how you.
What's Adam doing on his picks?
Wins.
Does he keep track of his picks?
No, but pretty bad. His bets suck balls. They're terrible.
Fish, what do you think of my 30-17?
That's a pretty good record.
Right.
That's a good record.
All right.
What about my 28-19-2?
That's also a pretty good. So what's the 2? Is it draws? Is it ties?
2 push.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 push.
Yeah, push.
We all had the same one. The same 2.
Guys, Monday Night Football tonight. Bears and the Pats. New England is 8-point favorite. I mean,
why
has this been collectively? Let me ask you guys this. Collectively, has this been the worst primetime schedule we have seen in the last 15 years?
Yeah, it's been bad. There's been a couple of good games. Like I loved a couple of Monday nights ago. I forgot who the hell it was.
Yesterday wasn't terrible.
It was a terrific game, but he's talking about Thursday
Sunday
night.
nights are fine.
It's okay.
Dude, Sunday night football's been freaking terrible too.
Yeah.
You went an entire.
Yesterday was not terrible.
Listen, you went an entire half of football.
Yeah,
where both teams scored 0 points.
That's close.
Do you know how hard that is to do in the National Football League? Play an entire half of football where neither team can score 2 points.
That's why I'm telling you, the Dolphins are beatable.
And I think that everybody's beatable, man. The problem is I just don't know if everybody's beatable by the Detroit Lions. Actually, I do know the answer to that. They're not.
They will this week, though.
Once again, you know what I'm picking. I'm picking the Dolphins, like every week. But it's one of those things where I think the disappointment, too, with the schedule this year is going into the season, there was so much hope for this season in terms of teams. We talked about 4 teams coming out of AFC West. We talked about all these great new additions to teams and how teams were going to be. Teams have let the fans down just as much as the people picking the game. So it's not just on the NFL and picking the schedule. Teams and players and coaches have let the NFL down as well.
All right, man, send us around.
Last night, Dolphins and the Steelers, right? It was at Miami. It was in Miami at Hard Rock Stadium. Used to be Joe Robbie Stadium. And back in the day, the Orange Bowl. So back in 1972, there was a little team called the undefeated 17-0 Miami Dolphins, who should have won the Super Bowl that year, 17-0, except the great Garo Yepremian messed up on a blocked field goal, and Mike Bass ran it back. 17-7 was the final. They still beat 14-7, as a matter of fact, was the final over the Redskins back in the day. Last night, they put the prices back to 1972 prices.
Wow, fountain sodas.
Isn't that cool?
How about that? They should just do that. These NFL stadiums, and
I
we
love
talk
that.
about this all the time. They don't need the money.
Yeah, they're never going to do it.
I know, but why? They just don't need that. They don't need that money. They're just...
well, Atlanta did it. Atlanta has cheaper food. And this year, Ford Field has certain stands where you can get stuff for $5, like a beer for $5.
Just a
soda,
at the
a hot dog for $5, stuff like that. So they are starting to do a little bit of it. But like you said, not enough.
Ryan, you want to make $25 million? Or you want to make $125 million?
I want the $125 million.
There you go.
But again, I just don't think the margins at these stadiums are like they're making, an extra. Do they need the extra couple $100,000 at the stadium that they're making on that particular day? I mean, it's
gouging. You know that
it's
just minimal. So anyway, how good did that stadium look last night, and how great were those Miami throwbacks?
I did like those uniforms.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah.
That's what they should be wearing.
Yeah, I did like those.
That's the crap that they have now.
That's one thing I can say about Stephen Ross and the Miami Dolphins, man. They tend to get things right, whether it was redoing the stadium, the Hard Rock, adding the shade side of it, redoing the stadium on the outside, on the inside, in terms of the uniforms from time to time. They have their pulse on what looks better from a visual perspective on TV because it looked damn good. You're
Maz,
right.
I'm going to skip around here. Talk to me about the Packers. They're 10.5-point underdogs against the Bills.
First time ever, Aaron Rodgers is a double-digit underdog. First time ever that they're first time for 10.5 or more points.
Is he done? I'm asking the question.
He's
Is he done?
He's got nobody on the team to throw to. Nobody.
Is that an organizational failure?
That's him. He took all the money, so he took all the stuff that they could have done on that team went to him. It's his fault.
Yeah. And I
like him. You know that.
Yeah, I know. I understand that you like him, but you're right. It's his fault. Dan Orlovsky was on ESPN earlier talking about it. He was just saying, listen, it doesn't matter. It's Devontae Adams is not the sole reason why they're losing. He said they got the worst offensive line in football. He said they don't stop people on the defensive side. No one catches passes. I mean, he's delivering some passes that will move the chains, that will score touchdowns. And it's funny because it started off first game of the year, Christian Watson, new draft pick, new wide receiver, supposed to be a new guy. He drops a 75-yard pass, and it's like the season kind of has continued in those footsteps. Guys aren't making plays. Guys aren't catching passes. Not all of it is on Aaron in terms of this season, but all you had to do 2 years ago is tell your guy, Devontae Adams, hey, look, man, I don't want to play this game without you. Yep. Like, look, I've had so much success with you, and I'm getting towards the end of my career. I want to stay with you. Whatever we got to do together to be in the tandem. Just had that conversation. I guarantee Devontae Adams is still there.
Organizational failure. They go linebacker, defensive line, first two picks instead of addressing their offensive line and their wide receivers. You could tell me Christian Watson, it was their third player picked in the 2022 NFL draft. Fine, but you got to go out there and you got to draft some offensive help early when that's where you're deficient. This is a top 10 defense in the NFL already coming in. Sure, you can make it better. So maybe instead of giving up 13 points a game, you give up 10.
They're not playing like it this year, though.
What does it matter?
Their defense is failing.
What does it matter?
It's failing.
Maz, I want to put a pause in this. We're going to get to college football coming up next. But, Braylon, before we do that, I want to move ahead. It is the Swiss coverage play of the week. What do you got for us?
Swiss coverage play of the week. Brought to you by Swiss Insurance Group and my man Mark. We turn to the Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys yesterday. Fletch, get us on the board, baby. See right now, second and 2, Detroit Lions have the ball. This is why you want Mark and Swiss Insurance Group to cover you. I'm going on the Dallas side of the ball. You see Trayvon Diggs at the bottom of the screen. Looks like it's going to be man-to-man coverage. Off man, maybe cover 3. Next slide for me, please, Fletch. As the post snap, you see that they're playing a zone right here. They got 2 up, going to roll this guy over, and it becomes a deep 3. Trayvon Diggs basically has Amon-Ra St. Brown one-on-one. Not Amon-Ra. Yeah, I think it is Amon-Ra St. Brown. Hit next, watch the coverage on it. Trayvon Diggs looking at the quarterback, staring at the quarterback. But guess who's staring right back at him? Quarterback staring right back at Trayvon Diggs, letting him know, hey, I'm about to throw you this pass. Hey, guy, I'm about to throw you this interception. And what does he do? Throws the ball right to Trayvon Diggs. Swiss Insurance Group and Mark, this is what they will do. They will treat you like Trayvon Diggs treated Jared Goff. They will protect you. They will cover you. That's why you always want to go with Swiss Insurance Group, because they protect the family, much like Trayvon Diggs protected his Dallas Cowboys family, got that pick, and the NFL reviewed it in New York and found out it was an interception. Let that be what Mark and Swiss Insurance Group can do for you.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because so many people online were talking about challenging that interception, which I do think it was an interception. It was reviewed in New York. All turnovers are reviewed, and it was a quick one. I mean, they were.
They probably should have looked at it a little longer.
Maybe
they do. They look at it long, and all these idiots are like, they didn't review it. They didn't review it.
Silence
idiots. They review everything.
They did review it. I will say one of the pictures up there, T.J. Hawkinson was wide open for a first down, and Jared Goff did not throw him the football.
100%.
You know, look at Hawkinson at the top of your screen right there. I don't know if you could bring that full. Just so the people at home can see it a little bit better. Look at the yellow line and look at the top of the screen. Between the 5 and the 0 at the 50-yard line, just throw it to T.J. Hawkinson and get the first down there. Come on, dude. Come on. Come on.
That said, I like their old blue uniforms.
I will say this. I could have saved them the trouble of looking at it in New York. Trayvon Diggs doesn't drop anything. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, he's a ball hawk, but he gives up some yards, man.
But
he gives up some yards.
That's the type of DB he is. It's like you're gonna take that as a defensive coach, because you're gonna take those 7 interceptions he's gonna give you a year and maybe 1 for a pick six.
That other kid that they had, that other rookie corner that they had that made the other interception on the terribly thrown ball.
Jordan Lewis?
He's out for the year with a Liz Frank.
He's not a rookie.
No, he's not a rookie.
That's Jordan Lewis.
Well,
they had the one-hand
Liz Frank injury.
Yeah, Liz Frank. Yeah.
Hey, just last Lions note to ponder. We talk about this all the time, and I don't know what you could get for him, but T.J. Hawkinson, you got a 5th-year option on him next year. Do you think you can get anything for him? Think about this. On a day where DeAndre Swift, Amon-Ra St. Brown, DJ Chark, all out, on a day like that, don't you think that T.J. Hawkinson would be the go-to guy in that case? Do you know what T.J. Hawkinson's stat line was yesterday?
2 for 14?
4 catches for 48 yards.
Oh, that's solid. Solid.
4 catches for 48 yards is when you have Amon-Ra, Swift, and DJ Chark.
And even then, the number should be higher.
And come on, 4 for 48 when Brock Wright has 4 for 57.
Dan Campbell loves Brock Wright, and he likes Zylstra, number 84. He loves the tight end. Yesterday was tight end day, by the way.
If you can get some kind of pick for T.J. Hawkinson, get rid of him. Seriously, trade him.
Only way I say do that is if you believe in Mitchell. Like, if you believe Mitchell, our draft pick this year,
James Mitchell from Vitek.
If you believe that he can be something, then get rid of Hawkinson, because the one thing about this day and age, and Brian, in the NFL, you got to have a tight end.
All right, guys, it is Michigan State week. I want to give our initial impressions, our initial thoughts of this game. We're going to have a great week, long list of guests that we will bring you here on woodwardsports.com. What do you think? The number is out, by the way. Incredible to think. Who would have thought it before the season started? We'll get to all of it next, but first a message from the Foaling Warehouse.
And Hamtramck, yes, Chris Hutt, the inventor of football bowling called Foaling. Get down there. 2 ways to play. $12 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation. 2 hours for $120. 10 or 12 people can go on a lane. Multiple full bars and a great beer menu. Over 100 beers they got to offer you. And the $2 mystery beer machine. Get your Foal on. Check them out at foalingwarehouse.com.
Woodward Sports is giving you another chance to sit front row, this time at the Detroit versus Green Bay game. Think you have the best Dan Campbell impression?
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Can you say man with the best of them?
I got it. Here's what I need, man. I need you to trust me. I swear to God, I'm not a lunatic. I swear to you.
Can you say, let's go for it on 4th down?
Man, I got a plan, I swear to you. All I think about is you guys. That's all I think about, man.
Are you a master motivator?
That's all I think about is you guys.
Show us in a video. Record your best Dan Campbell impression and post the video on Twitter or Instagram using hashtag #WoodwardFrontRow. We'll select the best 3 impersonations of Motor City Dan Campbell and send you and a guest front row. So knock the dust off the old sweatpants, light some kneecaps, and enter today. And as always, go Lions, man!
I just need you to trust me. That's all. Please.
I don't care if I got one toe, two butt cheeks, and a rock.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh, wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries, what will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone.
No judgment.
Where you can work out at a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. Join us because Woodward Sports is broadcasting live from Planet Fitness on Ryan Road in Sterling Heights, Michigan, the beautiful Sterling Heights, Michigan, this Wednesday, October 26th. Win prizes like Michigan versus Michigan State tickets with one free year Black Card membership, a signed Darren McCarty jersey, who you can watch from 11 to 1 on Wolf Sports Network, and a signed Braylon Edwards jersey, which you can watch right now, or 2 to 4. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz.
Maybe not.
Join us today in Corp or online at planetfitness.com today.
Planet Fitness.
WoodwardSports.com. Thanks so much for being along with us. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey, Fletch, and Fish in the house for JB today. It is Michigan State week. Right now, Paul Bunyan resides in East Lansing. He has done so for 10 of the past 14 years. But without further ado, there is no such thing as the Ryan game, but there is something called the Braylon game. Braylon, you have one of the games named after you. The incredible 05 game, or 04 game, excuse me. A 45-37 OT winner, a thriller. When you think Michigan State, what do you think of? What comes to mind? What emotions come to mind? And how hard is it to wait for that game all week long? I mean, it's Monday, right? You want Saturday to come so fast. Yeah. Just your big picture take on this series and this game.
It sucks that Michigan has lost 10 of the last 14. It sucks that Michigan has lost the last 2 in a row. But just thinking from a standpoint of being a player, like, it's a huge week. It's a week because it's also close to Thanksgiving. A lot of guys are from the same high schools. A lot of guys that played with Michigan State, that played at Michigan, played against each other in high school. They played for the same teams in high school. They're from the same towns. They may even break bread at the same houses for that Thanksgiving vacation or Thanksgiving the Thanksgiving time, excuse me. You don't want to be at the mall during Thanksgiving knowing you just lost that game to Michigan State. You don't want to be in the neighborhood or kicking it at the parties, etc., knowing you just lost that game to Michigan and you go to Michigan State. Bragging rights forever. So, we just like to beat up on Michigan State when I was there, and we did. I mean, we won 3 in a row when I was there. We lost my freshman year, but that was the infamous Spartan Bob clock play, whatever. But we went 3-0. But the other thing about it is it doesn't matter who's 1, who's 2, who's 8, who's unranked, who's bad. It's just one of those games where you bring everything. You fight. That infamous 3 overtime game, we're a much better team than them. When I say much better team than them. They weren't even ranked. But here we go. We should have lost that game. We get to overtime and we win in overtime. That's how that game goes. It does not matter who's the team. Doesn't matter who's ranked, who's not. That game is just about who wants it more, who wants to go home winning the state rivalry. Looking at it this year, Ryan Ermanni, I look at it like this. I'm not nervous for the University of Michigan because, they can't. Mel Tucker has their number. Jim Harbaugh, he struggles against Michigan State. These are the type of games that Michigan State thrives in. These are the type of games Michigan lose where they're head and shoulders above this team. Michigan is pissed that they have lost 2 years in a row. 2 years in a row to two teams that they should have beat. Two teams that they should have beat. They should have beat Mel Tucker twice, and that's how they feel. Then they also got robbed to going 12-0 last year by Michigan State. You look at it this year, they want Paul Bunyan back. They're going to get Paul Bunyan back, and here's how. Michigan State sucks against the run. Like, their defense is horrible. You think the Lions' defense is bad. Michigan State sucks against the run. Every team in the Big Ten so far has rushed for 150 or more, and every team in the Big Ten has a 100-yard, if not 200-yard rushers. And guess what? We got two guys that can run the football. We have the best offensive line Michigan has the best offensive line in the nation. They are going to bully Michigan State's defensive line. And also, once they get to running the ball, guess what else is terrible on Michigan State? Their secondary for 2 years in a row is abysmal. Mm-hmm. They are horrible. So once they dominate in the running game, it's only a matter of time before JJ pulls back and throws the ball down the field to Clemens or Roman Wilson or Ronnie Bell or Andrew Anthony. Michigan's going to roll Michigan State because they lost 2 years in a row and because they're a much, much better football team.
Side note, Eric All done for the year. We kind of knew that, but it's a formality now. Jim Harbaugh said that in today's press conference. He also told the Penn State head coach to take a walk. I don't have time for your little locker room talk. He told James Franklin,
so great.
I don't have time for his crap, basically. And
I saw that. I love that.
It was pretty funny. Jim Harbaugh is becoming Jim Harbaugh again. I really believe that, and I told you guys that a couple weeks ago. I think the trouble with the snap thing is behind him now officially, and he has returned to himself as a great head coach. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Michigan. But I'm just going to say one thing about Michigan State coming into this game. The Lions had a week off, and they kind of rebounded on defense a little. Do you think the Spartans, with their week off, can rebound a little bit and come up with a better game plan against Michigan? Just my question.
Before that question, let me just read the quote for you from Harbaugh. Like you said, because James Franklin criticized Michigan and the tunnel policy and the whole thing. So today, Jim Harbaugh says, like you saw pretty clearly, that Penn State completely stopped, and they weren't letting us get up to the tunnel. And it just seemed like a sophomoric ploy to try to keep us out of our locker rooms. And Franklin looked like he was the ringleader of the whole thing. All there has to it's so great. Pretty sophomoric. We've got bigger fish to fry.
I love that, Maz. What I would say to that is, too, you basically said one thing, you asked me one question, but I want to respond to the first thing you said. I'll do you one better. Harbaugh's better than he's ever been. Harbaugh never won at Stanford. And what I mean by won, I'm talking about the Rose Bowl. He actually lost to Oklahoma State, if I'm not mistaken, with Whedon and Josh Blackman. Lost at Stanford. He made it to the Super Bowl in the NFL. Lost the Super Bowl.
That's what I was kind of talking about.
Exactly.
He was a great coach coming here. We all thought, in 2 years, they're going to be national champions. And he kind of fell. And it was that game that did him in. I'll swear it. I'm telling you, I saw a ghost come out of his body that day.
I agree with you.
It's back.
I agree with you, but the difference is he still was the same Jim Harbaugh in that moment. He's a guy that hadn't won the big game. He hadn't gotten over the hump. He's a guy that believed he was stuck in his ways. He's going to coach things his way. So he's not going to adapt to young kid or the younger player, the younger generations, or letting them have a little bit more input. He's changed all that. And now 2 years in a row, after 7 weeks, he's 7-0. He's 7-0. He's changed. Jim Harbaugh is in the best space I believe he's ever been in as a head coach. I stand on that.
Go ahead, sorry.
Now, what you asked me about MSU, yeah, you know what's going to happen. They can change some things. They can come out strong in that first quarter. They can come out with some nuances. They can change a couple things.
Like they did against Ohio State.
Right, 100%. Like Michigan did against Ohio State.
Correct.
Exactly. They can do that. The problem is that's going to run out. Because Michigan is head and shoulders the better team on both sides of the ball. They're more physical. They're more experienced. So, yeah, that'll work for maybe a quarter. That'll work for maybe, 10 minutes of the first quarter. But at some point, cream rises to the crop. And I think by the time you get to halftime, Michigan will be up 2 scores.
Let me ask you guys this. Okay, look. The opening number is out. We were talking about it on Friday. Michigan has opened a 21-point favorite.
And that's right.
And that has already gone up to now a 22-point favorite. University of Michigan. Don't they have to blow them out?
They will.
But don't they have to?
Yes.
I think so too. I don't think it's good enough just to win this game. I think they have to send a clear message to Michigan State, to Mel Tucker, to State's fan base, to State's recruits, because Michigan State, if I'm being totally honest with you, okay, Michigan State is not going to be down for long. I do think Mel Tucker is going to right this ship eventually, and I think it's going to be about a 2 or a 3 year process. He got a 9-year contract. It's going to take him a couple of years. They've got the money behind this. They're going to get it right. So while they're down, you have got to take advantage for the next 2 years specifically. This year with JJ and Donovan Edwards and everybody else, and next year with JJ and Donovan Edwards. And then you're going to mix Andrell Anthony in here and all this offense. You got to blow them out to me and send a clear message.
This is what I do. You got to blow them out, but it's not to send a message to Michigan State, because Michigan State already knows that.
And to yourselves, though.
And that's where I was going, and even bigger than that. You got to send a message not to Michigan State. They know Michigan's a better team. They know Michigan was a better team last year. Why do you think they put that 37-35 or 37, whatever the score was, on their Peach Bowl rings? They know that Michigan's a better team. It ain't sending them a message, and I use ain't for a fact. It's to send a message to Ohio State. It's to send a message to the Big Ten. It's to send a message to the AP poll. It's to send a message to the playoff committee. It's to send a message to Clemson. It's to send a message to everybody else that keeps coming with these same takes. Michigan hasn't played anybody. Michigan isn't real. Doesn't matter. It's going to be Ohio State. It's going to be. You send a message to everybody else, because Michigan State got blown out by Minnesota by almost 30 points. Penn State just blew Minnesota out by almost 40 points. And Michigan beat the dog, out of Penn State. I don't want to hear this, it's going to be a close game. Yeah, I say it's going to be close in the beginning. They got to beat the snot out of Michigan State. So just like Ohio State does. Because whenever Ohio State plays teams, before they play Michigan, they blow everybody out. When they say Ohio State's going to win by 20, they win by 40.
Yeah, you're right.
When they say they're going to win by 30, they win by 50. When they say they're going to win by 10, they win by 25. Ohio State does that. If you say you're better than Ohio State, if you say that you're going to run it back last year, wasn't the fluke, then this game right here should be over with at halftime.
Got to take a break, continue to talk about this, what's happening in the Big Ten. Is it going to happen now or in the future? We'll have that for you. More Big Ten talk, more Michigan State talk as well. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. It is no secret that new cars are hard to come by, but they are available at Les Stanford. Got to make a plan. Allocation coming in right now for lease and purchase of new vehicles. Les Stanford has over 300 pre-owned cars on their lot as well. All makes, all models, all years. Get off your heels into some wheels. Come on down today, practically giving them away at Les Stanford Chevrolet and Cadillac. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Up
Time matters.
Time matters.
Alta Equipment. They got everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, why not just give Alta Rental a call? They got you covered. Give them a call today at 844-GO, the number 2, Alta. That's 844-GO-2-ALTA today.
We're just having some fun during the break here on WoodwardSports.com. Thanks for being along with us. What would be, as a Michigan fan, now obviously all of us here are Michigan guys, what does the score have to be where you feel good about it? Maz, you go first because you said the score.
I think it's going to be somewhere like 45-17, but I would probably want a little bit more, to be honest with you. But I'll settle for 45-17.
I'm feeling real good about it.
I take 50-14, but I don't want it to be 50 points. And between Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum, they got 7 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? They got 6 touchdowns and 7 touchdowns. I want them 50-14, but I want J.J. McCarthy's stat line to read 275, 3 touchdowns, and maybe 60 yards rushing. Yeah. I want it, like we talk about all the time, and you bring up a valid point. You benched Cade McNamara that got you to the playoff. You benched him because you told me this J.J. McCarthy was special. Well, you know what? I need to see him be special against Michigan State. That's what I want. 50-14, but J.J. McCarthy, I need to see a 275, 3, and 60 yards rushing.
I wouldn't mind seeing Cade in the game in the fourth quarter.
I'm just looking through the Michigan State rivalry right now. Michigan State, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Michigan State has never scored in the 40s against Michigan. Can you believe that?
How many times has Michigan scored in the 40s against them?
Well, they scored in 2019. It was 44-10.
I'd take another one of those.
Yeah, Braylon's game 45-37.
I don't think the 40s. These two teams don't really score a lot.
I mean, 2002 49 for Michigan. 1996 45, 91 45. 83-42. I mean, Michigan scored 40 in the 40s more than a couple of times. I can't believe that in the history of the series, Michigan State has never scored in the 40s against Michigan. And Michigan's had some really bad teams.
And you know, incoming Michigan State fan, Michigan always going back to the past. Here it comes. Just wait for it.
Yeah, I mean, just even last year, I'd like to see something where Michigan has in the 40s. And Michigan State has something below 20.
Okay.
You know, anything. If Michigan,
how are they gonna score against Michigan?
I don't know. I don't think they're gonna.
What they put up against Ohio State again? Refresh my. Was it 20?
Yeah, but that was it. 7 of which was a miscommunication on offense, where it was a pick 6.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And that wasn't even a play that Michigan State made. Right. That was a clear miscommunication on the wide receiver and quarterback's part.
Marvin Harrison.
He scored a couple more this week against Iowa. They were so bored. They were so bored with Iowa. I was changing my clothes from summer to winter, so I had it on in the background and. Gus Johnson.
I was in it early.
Gus Johnson could not have been more bored out of his mind.
No.
He was just absolutely just sleeping. And I
just wanted to talk about Marvin
Harrison.
Harrison.
So bad.
This is where Ohio State gets it. And we talked about it in recruiting earlier. We talked about how many how many 4-star prospects that they've had at the wide receiver position or 5-star over the last 5-6 years. Like, the number is staggering. But look at the plays they do. Like, every year, the next guy is always better. Chris Olave was the best thing. It was like Mike Thomas was the guy. And then Paris Campbell. And then Chris Olave. And then Garrett Wilson kind of. And then it was like, oh, man, look at this Jackson Smith-Njigba. Jackson Smith-Njigba gets hurt, and he's supposed to be the guy that's going to win the Heisman this year or split votes with C.J. Marvin Harrison Jr. Every year, Ohio State finds a wide receiver that is better than the one the year before, and it is another first-round pick. After 6 games, or 7, after 7 games, Marvin Harrison Jr. already has 11 touchdowns.
And it started with Chris Carter. Let's go back there.
There you go.
Speaking of Ohio State, okay, you mentioned Ohio State. Let me put up the AP Top 25 poll. Remains unchanged at the top. Georgia, Ohio State, Tennessee, Michigan, Clemson, Alabama. TCU at 7. This is the year. We always talk about the college football playoffs. and expanding to 12. This is the year you really want to see 12, right? I mean,
it would have been fun.
It would have been fun. If you look at baseball right now, maybe we'll talk about baseball. I don't know if we will or not. But the Philadelphia Phillies, think about this.
87 wins.
Think about this. The Philadelphia Phillies are going to the World Series.
They're going to win.
If this was last year, Philadelphia wouldn't even have made the playoffs. Philadelphia would not have made the playoffs under last year's wild card.
Very good point.
So I do think the expansion is good for the game.
It's great.
And in a year,
give me more.
In a year like this, because this is what's going to happen, and I hope it does. TCU is going to get unbeaten, and they're going to get left out.
Oh, 100%.
And we talked about this on the phone yesterday, Braylon. And we can go through all these scenarios all we want. But I think if you are a Power 5 team and you go unbeaten, which I believe TCU will do, just for argument's sake, humor me, there's no way they're getting in because you know for absolute certainty they are taking 2 SEC teams.
There are going to be 3 one-loss SEC teams at the end. There will be 3 one-loss teams.
And you're going to take 2 of them.
I'll take 3 of them.
You're going to take your 2 SEC teams are getting into the college football playoff. The Big Ten champion is getting in, and Clemson probably is going to get in if they go unbeaten. They don't deserve it. But they're getting in. So you're going to leave TCU out. You're going to leave a one-loss Oregon team out?
Yeah, because they hate
Pac-12
they hate the Pac-12. What did I tell you when we were breaking on Friday? You guys talk about the games you wanted to see. I said, nobody wants to see UCLA. Nobody cares about Oregon. I said, Oregon lost to Georgia by 40. I said, watch Oregon beat UCLA, and then the Pac-12 will be done. Nobody cares about the Big 12.
45-30 in the final.
Exactly. But they lost by 40 to Georgia.
Wow.
Like, watch this. Georgia's gonna lose to Tennessee because they play Tennessee this year. They're gonna lose to Tennessee. Alabama's gonna beat Tennessee in the SEC championship, and you will have 3.
Alabama wouldn't play Tennessee in the SEC championship. They're in the same division,
but they don't play them this year.
Alabama.
No, they beat them already. Tennessee beat Alabama.
Tennessee beat them.
So
but that's what I'm saying. Tennessee loses to Georgia, then Alabama plays Georgia in the SEC championship. That's what I meant to say.
Would they? Because Tennessee beat Alabama, so wouldn't Tennessee?
Yeah, they have the head-to-head.
They go to the SEC championship game.
Well, then Alabama still has 1 loss. Is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
That's what I meant to say.
Alabama's going to be sitting home.
That's what I meant to say. Alabama will be 1 loss, but they won't have 1 SEC championship.
Remember what
Georgia
you said at the beginning of the year?
And Tennessee.
Beginning of the year, you said Bama ain't making it.
100%, because I saw what I saw last year. I said this is the same team.
But Bama could make it by virtue of not playing in the conference championship.
Exactly.
Which would be a sin. That's a sin.
Right.
And oh, by the way, Michigan and Ohio State, they'll be one of them will be 1 loss sitting at home.
Unless they tie.
Gotta love the ties, man.
What if they tie?
But once again,
what if they're undefeated?
We all
they
know
tie.
that the ship will correct itself. We know that this will play out. We know that it will come into fruition. But it's just fun to talk about.
It is fun to talk about. Did you see? So I was watching Big Noon Saturday.
How do you not?
How do you not?
Got a great crew.
The Ohio State Iowa game, and they flashed this top 5 in AP poll schedule comparison full screen. Georgia, number 1 in the country, has the 107th strength of schedule. Ohio State tied for 110th in terms of strength of schedule. Michigan tied for 112th. Why does Michigan's strength of schedule, that's the only one that gets called into question here? Georgia 107th and Ohio State 110th.
Well, because Michigan's only beat Ohio State once in the last 40 years, and they look at that. Meanwhile, Georgia's beaten Alabama a couple times over. Now Alabama has beat everybody under the sun a couple times over, so I think they get passes for their pass. Meanwhile, Michigan, their immediate now is they've only beat Ohio State once in the last couple of years, so that's why they try to defraud Michigan or say that Michigan is a fraud. We are trying to defraud Michigan.
It is incredible, man. By the way, I did want to point this out. Big Ten is going to keep the divisions next year, 2023, before reconfiguring in 2024 with UCLA and USC. I hate this because you're going to have even this year, right?
The West sucks.
It's so bad,
over.
And it's just not even right
how
you're allowed to do this. And how the Big Ten is putting itself in jeopardy. Just let's say Michigan plays Illinois or Purdue or even Nebraska and somehow loses that Big Ten championship game. You're really putting yourself at odds.
Well, they don't
and
deserve
in
it
jeopardy.
then.
Oh, well. I mean, I don't know. Maybe
Then
so.
TCU could get in.
Yeah, maybe so. But I just don't.
That's the only way TCU.
I mean, you're looking at Michigan, Ohio State. 3 of the top 13 teams in this country are in the Big Ten East, and it's just it's incredible. Just play it all out. Have like the Big 12 does it. Big 12, and I know they don't have 14 teams, but they just have. It's the Big 12, and the top 2 teams play each other.
Yeah,
it's pretty simple.
It is. If you play somebody twice, you play somebody twice. It is what it is, man. But hey, you know what? It's the Big Ten. We always got to make things more difficult than they have to be.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break. Come right back when we do. We're going to talk a little bit about baseball. Maz's Phillies in the World Series, and the Yankees' daddy gets them again, the Houston Astros. Maz, I want your insight on what went wrong
You really
for the
don't.
New York Yankees. We'll do it next. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircut for Men. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience. And it's your last month to register. No, for a down payment. This one is done. For a down payment on your dream home. Up to $200,000. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in anytime. Several locations around the country. Several more here in the Metro Detroit area. Feel free to walk into one. You don't even need an appointment. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome. Wicked awesome.
The biggest rivalry in the state is almost here. That means one thing, the biggest tailgate party in the state. Join Woodward Sports for our tailgate takeover before the U of M versus State game on October 29th. Will Harbaugh and the boys pull out the win? Or is Tuck still coming? We will find out at the Big House. Michigan legend Braylon Edwards will be handing out food, prizes, and much more. So no matter what team you root for, come party with the network that does it best. The Woodward Sports Network. The tailgate takeover, powered by Custom Health Centers, Syntron, and Planet Fitness.
Woodward Sports, you see the name!
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
.com is the #1 site for your game day bets, play-by-play updates, live scores, and the best price on every game from multiple sportsbooks. You go to oddstrader.com. Very simple. They give you stats, they give you tendencies, they give you the statistics you need to help you make your bets, hedge your bets, get your parlays, get your guys, whatever you want to do. They will help you make a little bit of that cash, that money, that green stuff. Go to oddstrader.com. Simply put, they are the best.
Hey, before we get to baseball, I do have one question to ask, and it's a big, it's seemingly a pretty big deal.
Is it?
Did you see the referees asking Mike Evans for his autograph?
I did.
Have you ever seen anything like that?
I wish no one saw that, to be honest with you.
Why? I'm asking the question, real question.
I just think it's a private. I don't know. I don't think that he's going to not call an interference penalty against the guy just because he's getting his autograph. We don't know what he's asking for. Maybe he's got a sick kid in the hospital that wanted that autograph. But now it looks like that referee overstepped his bounds.
Well,
and you're not supposed to do that.
I think he clearly did.
So
here's the deal.
people know.
After the game, 21-3, the Bucks lose. They're coming off the field. Mike Evans is walking in the tunnel to the locker room, and you see the referee. It's side judge Jeff Lambert and line judge Tripp Sutter. They're calling Evans' name. Hey, Mike. And Mike Evans peels back, and they hand him a card and a pen to sign an autograph for almost like a card.
Yeah.
I just think that's in poor taste, man. The NFL and the NFL Referees Association are looking into this. They do bar officials from approaching players, coaches, and NFL personnel for autographs, as it gives the appearance of showing partiality. Now,
media as well.
We are not allowed to ask for autographs in the media.
Shocking.
What? I've never asked for an autograph while on the job. One time, but it was till Sylvester Stallone.
You get a pass for that.
But yeah, I'm not doing it to Braylon Edwards at University of Michigan. Have you ever seen anything like that? You'd be the guy that would see something like that.
This is true. I haven't. And I understand what it looks like, or understand what it could look like, so that's why they take that hard stance, and they don't want individuals getting autographs and whatever. But I mean, at the end of the day, you're a fan of the sport. That's why you referee. You referee because you're a fan of the sport, and no matter how impartial you are, you're gonna have favorite players. You're gonna have guys that your kids might like, or you may have things that you do. I work with a lot of individuals that they do charity auctions and things like that for different philanthropic endeavors, if you will. So I understand it, but I guess there's a different place in which you could have found, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know. I mean, I don't necessarily have a huge problem with it, but I see the optics.
Maz?
Yeah, it didn't look good, but it don't bother me.
Yeah, I agree with Maz.
It just doesn't bother me. But people take it seriously, and sometimes they take it too seriously. So I want to see what the rest of that story is. If they're just handing them a card, they probably had something. It might even be
Make-A-Wish.
I don't know what it is. I want to
like
wait.
Said,
I want to wait and see what's going on, because I don't think they would put their jobs in jeopardy. There's not many of those referee jobs. They work their tails off to get those jobs. And you do a lot of work.
You see the same
to get those
referees
jobs.
forever.
It doesn't bother me in terms of I'm worried about the impartiality of it. It bothers me in terms of the player. Like, Mike Evans just made probably a game-changing mistake in that game. They got their butts kicked 21-3. He's walking off trying to get... I don't believe he should be subjected to be asked for an autograph by somebody that's one of you, really.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He would have kept going.
He can say no if he wants to.
I know. I don't know. I just don't like it.
But then if you say
I don't
no,
love it.
But you actually have a point. Because then if you say no,
then the next time around you're a jerk,
and they're gonna call something on you.
Yeah,
holding. They're gonna make a call.
Something.
Yeah.
These things that I have in my hand that I love and I'll never let go. It's the devil. It's the devil. There's no more privacy. No. And I can go to I'm on with Drew and Mike and those guys, right? I can't go to a national Coney Island, have a hot dog without someone taking a picture of me and giving it to Drew and say, "Look at Maz eating a hot dog," or something like that. There's no privacy. There's no freaking privacy.
Maz back in the
celebrity.
It's not even that. It's just making fun of having fun. I'm fine, man. I know I'm a pincushion and I take a beating. I get it. And I'll wear it on my sleeve. I really don't give a damn. I truly don't. But, there's no freaking privacy, man.
I get
they're in the tunnel.
I don't love
what the hell what are they videoing?
Look, I understand what you're saying, but I don't love it from the player's perspective. I don't, it's not about the...
He obviously didn't care.
I know. Well, what if he did? You know
what I mean? Said no. See ya.
I don't know.
But then if he did, to what Ryan said, if he does say no, then the next time those two refs have the Bucks, then they could be dicks and throw a penalty just because he was asked.
Or it could be seen like that.
They might have talked about it earlier in the game and say, "Hey, we need this for little Joey in the hospital," and they're like, "Hey, Mike, remember?" Okay, I got you.
That's a good point.
We don't know.
I
Let's wait and
understand.
see how it comes out.
We'll wait and see what happens. I'm going to take a break, come right back. I do want to get into some baseball before the end of the show, but first a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
All right, the Chili Peppers Tanning. You got to get out there because we're losing the sun. Little by little, each day, the sun is staying away. You know that. And you got to keep that good-looking summer glow. So Chili Peppers Tanning
Get that
is
glow.
the place for you. 27 locations, more on the way, and 2 right here on Woodward, just one a few blocks away from our Birmingham studio. And if you get down there, they will save you $5 against any competitor if you join the Pepper Club. And that means unlimited tanning and more. Lots of products there for your skin. Homecoming is coming for your kids. I know a lot of them go through it. They want to get that tan. They want to look good. Chili Peppers Tanning is the way to go. The darkest tans, the best deals. You know, it's your vitamin D headquarters. ChiliPeppersTanning.com.
Chili Peppers Tan.
Woodward Sports is giving you another chance to sit front row, this time at the Detroit versus Green Bay game. Think you have the best Dan Campbell impression?
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Can you say man with the best of them?
I got it. Here's what I need, man. I need you to trust me. I swear to God, I'm not a lunatic. I swear to you.
Can you say, let's go for it on 4th down?
Man, I got a plan, I swear to you. All I think about is you guys. That's all I think about, man.
Are you a master motivator?
That's all I think about is you guys.
Show us in a video. Record your best Dan Campbell impression and post the video on Twitter or Instagram using hashtag #WoodwardFrontRow. We'll select the best 3 impersonations of Motor City Dan Campbell and send you and a guest to front row. So knock the dust off the old sweatpants, light some kneecaps, and enter today. And as always, go Lions, man.
I just need you to trust me. That's all. Please.
I don't care if I got 1 toe, 2 butt cheeks, and a rock.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
Centron is the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings, and for a limited time, they have put all 3 of their flavors in a limited edition 6-pack. CentronWorld.com/Red Wings is where you go to get this. Centron is teamed up with WoodwardSports.com as well as the Pistons, the Tigers, and the Wings. Get it, drink it, live it with Centron.
The World Series is set. Phillies and Houston Astros. How about Houston, man? By the way, I know you're wearing the Phillies. 4 World Series appearances in the last 6 years.
Yep.
That is incredible.
It is.
And
I take my hat off to those guys. They really did it well. Obviously, they got the players they dumped for years, and it worked. And then they cheated
for one of
after
them.
that, and it worked, and it's still working to this day. And they haven't lost in October yet. They are unbeaten so far. No team has gone unbeaten throughout the entire playoffs in the history of baseball. So we will see if they can do that. But they met the Yankees. The Yankees, they own the Yankees. And this Yankee team was not built right. They're a flawed team. Brian Cashman is going to get canned. Aaron Boone is going to get canned. I don't know who's coming in. Maybe Derek Jeter. I really believe maybe Jeter, maybe Donnie Baseball, Don Mattingly. I don't know. They got to get somebody in there, but they need players. First guy they need is Aaron Judge. After that, we'll see how it goes. But the Astros are so hard, so tough. I mean, the Yankees can't play small ball, either a home run or nothing for them. They play in Yankee Stadium in that little bandbox that they got there, and it doesn't fit well for the rest of the year. So it is what it is. 99 wins. See ya.
Good for the Astros.
As Michael Kay would say.
Good for the Astros to be able to get back to this point after they cheated, won the World Series. A lot of people still pissed at them for that, so that they were able to dump pretty much everybody with the exception of a couple players and keep and get back to the World Series and recreate what they did a couple of years ago. Like you said, 4 in the last 6, so that's good to see. But on the Yankee side of things, man, After you get past the 4th spot, they have nobody getting on base. They have nobody hitting the ball. Nobody can bring. See, when Deion started Carlos Stanton and Judge get on plate to hit home runs, nobody's on base.
Cashman's got to be done, though.
Yeah, he built a flawed team.
Cashman's got to be done. You've got an empty checkbook, basically. And look
And
at
you got a lot of people getting paid a lot of money that are not delivering.
Exactly, but at some point,
oh my God!
At some point, though, you have to fall on the sword of which you die on. Dave Dombrowski of the Phillies there is taking his second team to the World Series. Second team since leaving the Tigers.
4 teams overall: the Marlins, the Tigers, the Boston Red Sox, and now the Philadelphia
But what
Phillies.
I'm saying is he left the Tigers 7 years ago, and he's taking his second team to the World Series.
Yeah.
That is, come on.
That's embarrassing.
That's real.
It's embarrassing that you let this guy out of your building. Yeah, he didn't build a complete team here. He forgot about the closer and then pitching defense. But that's not all his fault. Nonetheless, the Phillies, 87 wins. They beat the Padres, who gave it their all. They just ran out of steam. Phillies are.
They were hitting them.
Phillies play together. They love each other. I'm telling you, if they win one game in Houston, they're winning the World Series.
And again, your best players have to be your best players in the postseason when it matters. Bryce Harper batting .419, 5 home runs.
How about Schwarber leading off? They laughed at Dombrowski when they brought in Schwarber, when he brings in Harper, gave him all that money. They're like, you're bringing in DHs, Castellanos. It's not going to work. It worked.
Castellanos, by the way, hitting .220, but has 6 RBIs in this postseason.
JT Realmuto, the catcher,
Realmuto,
playing awesome. Reese Hoskins playing awesome.
Nola.
They got it, man. If anyone could beat Houston, it's the Phillies.
First $300 million player ever to make it to a World Series, by the way. All these big contracts, Mike Trout and all this stuff. Juan Soto, first $300 million player ever to make it to a World Series, and he's making his money. They would not have made the postseason if Major League Baseball did not add the extra wild card that they did this year.
And they canned their manager, Joe Girardi, mid-season. They bring in Rob Thompson, who the Yankees fired. He was their hitting coach.
Topper.
He was their hitting coach. They say, you're not good enough. You see what's going on? You see what's happening? Phillies are going to give it to him, man.
It's going to be fun to watch, man. Kyle Schwarber's been a lot of over the years, man. Bryce Harper, one of the best doing it. I mean, the reigning NL MVP. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Unfortunately, it starts on Friday. We got to wait a whole freaking week.
Terrible. Bray, final thought. Get us out of here.
Final thought, man. You know what time it is, man. It's that week. It's Michigan State. We will be heavy on them all week long. We will also break down the Detroit Lions. What do they need to do on the offense side of the ball to beat the Dolphins at home? Because after that, man, they're going to run into a brick wall. So stay tuned. We got some fun stuff, and we also have a ton of good guests coming in the studio, as well as doing V-Mix, so be tuned in for that. Tomorrow, Lindell White, USC national champion, draft pick by the Tennessee Titans, will be on the show tomorrow, so tune in.
He's a Michigan fan, too.
He almost came to Michigan. You'll hear more about that. But guess what? It was great to have my man Fish do the show. Missed your buddy. Fletch, been killing it. Maz, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. The Lions will find a win there somewhere. And Ryan,
they're going to win Sunday.
I like that quarter zip, brother.
You know what time it is.
Hey, man, we're out of here. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.